Season 1, Chapter 3. The first thing I do when I get home from school is collapse onto my bed and turn on my laptop. This happens every single day. If I'm not at school, you can guarantee that my laptop will be somewhere within a 2-meter radius of my heart. My laptop is my soulmate. Over the past few months, I've come to realise that I'm far more of a blog person than an actual person. I don't know when this blogging thing started, and I don't know when or why I signed up to this website. But I can't seem to remember what I did before, and I don't know what I'd do if I deleted it. I severely regret starting this blog. I really do. It's pretty embarrassing, but it's the only place where I ever find people who are sort of like me. People talk about themselves here in ways that many people don't in real life. If I delete it, I think I'll probably be completely alone. I don't blog to get more followers or whatever. I'm not Evelyn. It's just that it's not socially acceptable to say sad stuff out loud in the real world, because people think you're attention seeking. I hate that. So what I'm saying is that it's nice to be able to say whatever I want, even if it's only on the internet. After waiting 100 billion years for my internet to load, I spend a good while on my blog. There are a couple of cheesy anonymous messages, a few of my followers get all worked up about some of the pathetic stuff I post. Then I check Facebook, 2 notifications. Lucas and Michael have sent friend requests. I accept them both. Then I check my email, no emails. And then I check the Solitaire blog again. It's still got the photo of Kent looking hilariously passive, but apart from the only addition to the blog is the title. It now reads, Solitaire. Patient kills. I don't know what these Solitaire people are trying to do, but Patient Kills is the stupidest intimidation of some James Bond film title that I've ever heard. It sounds like a betting website. I take the solitaire.co.uk post-it note out of my pocket and place it precisely in the centre of the only empty wall in my room. I think about what happened today with Lucas Ryan, and for a brief moment I feel kind of hopeful again. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know why I bother with this. I don't even know why I followed those post-it notes into that computer room. I don't know why I do anything, for God's sakes. Eventually, I find the will to get up and plod downstairs to get a drink. Mom's in the kitchen on the computer. She's very much like me, if you think about it. She's in love with Microsoft Excel, and the way I'm in love with Google Chrome. She asks me how my day was, but I just shrug and say it was fine, because I'm fairly sure that she doesn't care what my answer is. It's because we're so similar that we stop talking to each other so much. When we do talk, we either struggle to find things to say, or we just get angry. So apparently, we've reached a mutual agreement that there's really no point in trying anymore. I'm not too bothered. My dad's quite chatty, even if everything he says is extraordinarily irrelevant to my life, and I've still got Charlie. The house phone rings. Get that, would ya? Says Mum. I hate the phone. It's the worst invention in the history of the world, because if you don't talk, nothing happens. You can't get by with simply listening and nodding your head in the right places. You have to talk. You have no option. I pick it up anyway because I'm not a horrible daughter. Hello, I say. Tori, it's me. It's Becky. Why the hell are you answering the phone? I decided to rethink my attitude towards life and become an entirely different person. Say again? Why are you calling me? You never call me. Dude, this is absolutely too important to text. There's a pause. I expect her to continue, but she seems to be waiting for me to speak. Okay, it's Jack. Vicky has called to talk about her almost boyfriend, Jack. She does this to me very often. Not call me, I mean. Ramble at me about her various almost boyfriends. While Becky is talking, I put ums and yes and oh my gods where they need to be. Her voice fades a little as I drift away and picture myself as her. as a lovely, happy, hilarious girl who gets invited to at least 2 parties a week and can start up a conversation within 2 seconds. I picture myself entering a party, throbbing music, everyone with a bottle in their hand. Somehow, there's a crowd around me. I'm laughing. I'm the centre of attention. Eyes light up in admiration as I tell another one of my hysterically embarrassing stories. Perhaps a drunk story, or an ex-boyfriend story, or simply a time that I did something remarkable. And everyone wonders how I managed to have such an eccentric, adventurous, carefree adolescence. Everyone hugs me. Everyone wants to know what I've been up to. When I dance, people dance. When I sit down, ready to tell secrets, people form a circle. When I leave, the party fades away and dies like a forgotten drink. You can guess what I'm talking about, she says. I really can't. A few weeks ago, God, I should have told you this, we had sex. I sort of freeze up because this takes me by surprise. Then I realise that this has been coming for a long time. This is what most people do when you get to this age. You start finding partners, kissing, having sex. I have no issues with people doing that. Like, I'm sex positive, and Becky has wanted to have sex with Jack for quite a while. And I know that kissing and having sex isn't a race, and that there are some people who will never end up wanting to do those things anyway. But I guess it makes me feel like she's braver than me. She's putting herself out there. She's getting what she wants. And what am I doing? Nothing. I have no idea what I want. Well, there is literally nothing I can say about this. I'm happy for you. There's a pause. That's it. Was it good? She laughs. It was both of our first times, so no, not really. It was still fun though. Oh, okay. Are you judging me? What? No. I feel like you are. I'm not, I promise. I tried to sound more positive. I am genuinely so happy for you. She seems satisfied by this and starts explaining how Jack has this friend who would supposedly be perfect for me while I sit there stewing in guilt because I am a terrible friend and a terrible person who gets jealous of my best friend for everything. I wish I was confident. Outgoing, happy. Once they get off the phone, I sort of stand there in the kitchen. Mom's still clicking away at the computer and I start to feel again like this whole day has been pointless. An image of Michael Holden appears in my head, and then an image of Lucas Ryan, and then an image of the Solitaire blog. I decide that I need to talk to my brother. I pour myself some diet lemonade and leave the kitchen. My brother, Charles Spring, is 15 years old and a year 11 at Trilham Grammar. In my opinion, he is the nicest person in the history of the universe. And I know that nice is kind of a meaningless word, but that's what makes it so powerful. It's very hard to simply be a nice person, because there are a lot of things that can get in the way. When he was little, he refused to throw out all his possessions, because to him, they were all special. Every baby book, every grown-out t-shirt, every useless board game. He kept them all in sky-high piles in his room, because everything supposedly had a meaning. When I asked about it, a particular item, he'd tell me how he found it at the beach, or how it was a hand-me-down from our nan, or how he brought it when he was 6 at the London Zoo. He got rid of a lot of stuff as he grew up though, and things aren't quite as happy as they were back then. Charlie's had a really difficult time over the past few months. He has an eating disorder which got pretty bad last summer, and he's had a couple of self-harm relapses too, but he spent a few weeks at the psychiatric ward, which sounded terrifying at first but ended up really helping. He's in therapy now and he's working on getting better, and he's still the same kid who has a lot of love to give. In the living room, it is extremely unclear what Charlie, his boyfriend Nick, and my older brother Oliver are doing. They've got these cardboard boxes, and I mean there's like 50 of them, piled up all over the room. Oliver, who is 7 years old, appears to be directing the operation as Nick and Charlie build up the boxes to make some kind of shed-sized sculpture. The piles of boxes reach the ceiling. Oliver has to stand on the sofa to be able to oversee the entire structure. Eventually, Charlie walks round the small cardboard building and notices me staring in the front of the doorway. "Victoria!" I blink at him. Shall I bother asking? He gives me this look as if I should know exactly what is going on. "We're building a tractor for Oliver?" I nod. "Of course. Yes, that's very clear." Nick appears, at first glance. Nicholas Nelson, a year 12 like me. Looks exactly like the kind of scary lads you'd see crammed at the back of the school bus, ready to throw sandwiches at you. But in reality, Nick is actually the human embodiment of a golden retriever puppy, as well as being Trium's rugby captain and genuinely lovely person. I can't really remember when Nick and Charlie became Nick and Charlie, but Nick has stuck with Charlie through all the hardest parts of his mental illnesses. So, in my books, he's definitely alright. "Tori?" He nods at me very seriously indeed. "Good. We need more free labour." "Tori, can you get the sellotape?" Oliver calls down, except he says thellotape instead of sellotape, because he recently lost a front tooth. I pass Oliver the thellotape, then point towards the boxes and ask Charlie, "Where did you get all of these?" Charlie just shrugs and walks away, saying, "They're Oliver's, not mine." So that's how I end up building a cardboard tractor in our living room. When we finish, Charlie, Nick, and I sit inside it to admire our work. Oliver goes round the tractor with a marker pen drawing on the wheels and mud stains and machine guns, in case the cows join the dark side. It's sort of peaceful, to be honest. Every box has a big black arrow pointed up on it, pointing upwards. Charlie's telling me about his day. He loves telling me about his day. Saunders asked us who our favourite musicians were, and I said Muse, and 3 people asked me if I liked them because of Twilight. 3! I snort. To be fair, the only Muse songs I know are from Twilight. Nick nods. Same. I watched the first Twilight movie a lot as a kid. Charlie raises his eyebrows. "Can't believe I'm going to have to dump you due to your terrible taste in movies. Nick laughs and wraps his arms around Charlie's waist. "Oh, you look sad. Come second place to Robert Pattinson." Charlie laughs too. And then there's a short silence, in which I lie down and look up at the cardboard ceiling. I start telling them about today's prank, and that leads me to thinking about Lucas and Michael Holden. I met Lucas Ryan again today, I say. I don't mind telling this sort of thing to Nick and Charlie. He joined our school. Nick and Charlie blink at the same time. Lucas Ryan? As in primary school Lucas Ryan? Charlie frowns. Lucas Ryan left Truam? Frowns Nick. Crap, he was going to help me revise for our psychology mock. I nod to both of them. It was nice to see him. You know, because we can be friends again, I guess. He was always so nice to me. They both nod back. It's a knowing sort of nod. I also met this guy called Michael Holden. Nick, who was in the middle of taking a sip of tea, chokes into his cup. Charlie grins widely and starts to giggle. What, do you know him? Nick recovers enough to speak through his coughs, still coughs every few words. Michael fucking Holden. Shit, he'll go down in Truam legend. Charlie lowers his head but keeps his eyes on me. Watch out for him. I always found him a bit scary, to be honest. And do you remember when he tried to get everyone to do a flash mob for the year 11 prank? Says Nick. And in the end, he just did it by himself on the lunch tables. What about when he talked about the injustice of authority for his year 12 perfect speech? Says Charlie. Just because he got detention for that argument with Mr. Yates during his mock exams. This confirms my suspicion that Michael Holden is not the sort of person with whom I would like to be friends with, ever. Charlie looks at Nick. Is he straight? I heard he's not straight. Nick shrugs. That might just have been a rumour. Yeah, maybe, Charlie frowns. We'd probably know if he was out. They pause and both look at me. Look. says Nick, gesturing sincerely to me with one hand. Lucas Ryan's a cool guy, but there's something up with Michael Holden. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he was behind that prank. The thing is, I don't think that Nick is right. I don't have any evidence to support this. I'm not even sure why I think this. Maybe it was something about the way Michael Holden spoke, like he believed everything he said. Maybe it was how sad he was when I showed him the empty Solitaire blog, or maybe it was something else. Something that doesn't even make sense. Like the colours of his eyes, or his ridiculous side parting, or how he managed to get that post-it note into my hand when I can't even remember our skin touching. Maybe it's just because he's too wrong. As I'm thinking this, Oliver enters the tractor and sits down in my lap. I pat him affectionately on the head and give him what's left of my diet lemonade, because Mom doesn't let him drink it. I don't know, I say. To be honest, I bet it was just some twat with a blog.